Hi folks, welcome to Riffin with Jeza podcast. This is my very first one of a concept I've been thinking about for maybe 4 or 5 years, quite a while. And if there's anyone out there who's procrastinated as eloquently as this, I'd really like to know. Because this is just, how can you fuck around for 4 years on an idea? Who knows? But anyway, this is what's happened. And this is kind of going to be basically just thinking about things. Pretty much it'll pertain to healing things and life things. And just walking up a hill at the moment. So yeah. But I'm just going to riff every day on whatever interests me. So at the moment my phone is glitching like crazy, like it's just so nuts. It's video calling people, video calling women, you know, who probably not a great idea. And just generally calling and video calling and doing all sorts of weird stuff, sending notes to people, and the phone is just going schizo. And so yes, obviously as entertaining as this is, I probably need to get it fixed. But it is kind of funny seeing who the phone decides to call next. So, but it's interesting because I'm sitting there getting pissed off at my phone. So, kind of, I find it funny as well. But isn't it funny? I'm making wrong my phone. It's just doing its shit. It's probably dodgy Apple thing, but it's funny how it's a beautiful day here in Canada at the moment. Sun is out, place looks magic, and I'm angry at my phone. So I was thinking a meditation practice could be, what if no matter what it was doing, you didn't judge it? Like, you made it okay. One time I was stuck in traffic that was like a parking lot for like 5 hours, 6 hours. Took me like 12 hours to go 1 hour. 1 hour normally. And I started the day, you know, thinking, oh fuck, this is just bullshit. And then I thought, what's the point? So I just made a decision. You know what, I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to be okay with it. And I end up having the most incredibly magic day, sitting in traffic. It was fucking hot as well. Just sitting in traffic. I hope there's not an issue with me swearing. I don't think there is on YouTube or whatever. But I can't be fucked sort of trying to be kind of, you know, sanitized. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I basically turned the trip into something beautiful. It's quite amazing. And it was kind of almost like a spiritual thing, like a peaceful thing. And I've done this before. There was another time where someone crashed their car into me and it really got me jittery on the road. And so I made a practice of basically like becoming very still. Very, very still. Just like breathing, looking at the road, breathing, looking at the road, breathing, just being in the experience without commentary from my mind. So my mind might jump in and start wandering on its thing, but then I just get really present. And it was a strange thing. I went from being really kind of agitated about driving, and it became a peaceful and beautiful thing. And I ended up starting to love driving. It got to the point where I would drive the long way home. It's quite fascinating. And I started to love it. I started to become obsessed with driving. And this is just like a random activity that I decided to put my focus into being 100% present. It's quite interesting. And so with this phone going absolute nuts, and I could feel myself getting irritated, I was thinking, I wonder if I could become completely at peace with my phone doing what it's doing. So I'm talking about like opening like 10, 15 apps at a time. You know, some of these apps have got crypto on them as well. It's not ideal. You know, doing all sorts of stuff. You know, messaging people who I haven't spoken to in a long time. Like, it's really funny. It's kind of, I don't know, I find awkward, weird stuff funny, you know, when it's not appropriate. So I think this is why I'm just letting my phone do its thing. Because if it rings somebody who I don't want to speak to, which it's done multiple times, it still is a funny situation. So anyway, but I must admit, some of the time I just get agitated, you know, and I will get it fixed, or get a new one or whatever. But it's just interesting how I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I could become completely still with my phone doing that stuff. Because as I said, I've had the practice of doing it before, where I could just be completely still with a situation that wasn't. So it's interesting. I think if you can self-regulate your emotions strongly, you have a lot of power. That doesn't mean I do it all the time. I remember this client of mine started screaming. She tapped into some sort of deep, deep fear. And I went to another level of stillness. Like sometimes you just kick in and right, okay, focus. Nothing distracting me. I'm here. And it's just interesting that there's been multiple times where I think, wow, I made a decision and something chaotic turned into something beautiful. But generally speaking, without the decision, it doesn't, you know, the habitual mind will just, you know, do its sort of corresponding chaotic reaction. And and it will just, you know, you'll kind of be an autopilot. You're just reacting to the world. You're just another drone in the matrix, just reacting from your conditioning and making wrong something that's kind of neutral, not necessarily wrong. Maybe there's something incredible with this phone behind it. You know, the mind is assuming this is bad. Maybe it is going to connect me with someone. So, but anyway. But it's just interesting. But I think my kind of concept for the day, because this is what I'm thinking of these podcasts, I'm just going to riff and see what concept is. Concept of the day. And so the concept of the day today, I think, is making a decision to be completely still and non-reactive. And the best way to do that is to come into the present moment, watch everything. So I'm walking at the moment, be completely in the moment of walking, not in my mind, but in the moment. I can feel my footsteps, my breath, and being completely still in my head without commentary. And so when I've done this as a discipline, it's quite interesting. There's been miraculous results, but there's just a case of remembering to do it. So this is going to be my thing when I get off this. I'm going to do 4 or 5 minutes at least, just 100% stillness, and I'll probably end up doing a lot longer, but it's good to do something small. So if you want to try that, it's just a case of like, when you're walking around the room, just start looking at things and stay connected to your breath and your feet. And you're just looking at things without letting your mind go off into just habitual commentary. So it's almost like you're a baby looking at something for the first time. So if you're looking at the wall, looking at it in detail, like, or with your breath, noticing what your breath feels like, and then your mind will comment, and that's fine, but then just go back to noticing it, watching it inhale and exhale. So yeah, so today's topic is around presence and making a decision to drop the commentary around all of it. So yeah, so if you'd like to join, man, maybe try that for 4 or 5 minutes, or even 1 minute. Try 1 minute, and give me your thoughts. It's quite incredible when I practiced this in the past. It's quite amazing because it's so simple, and it can be like, can make a difference like night and day. And you want to know something else funny? My phone hasn't glitched. I'm now almost 13 minutes into this Riffin with Jeza little spiel, and it hasn't glitched. That's pretty cool. I mean, maybe that's part of the function / dysfunctionality of this particular symptom, but that's still pretty cool and handy. So now, I'm going to do my little 4 or 5 minutes presence. And if you do this, give us your thoughts. That'd be great. So see you next time. Riffin with Jeza.